Hi everyone, I hope you're having a really good Easter weekend. I'm off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I plan to just blitz a lot of my seed sowing. So if you have probably seen my stories, I'm possibly the reason for a seed shortage in a lot of places right now. Could be worse things you could be addicted to, but I just love seed shopping. But I promise this is the end of it. I am gonna I'm gonna stop. I'll probably slaughter myself now when it comes to potting them on. But I want to take you through maybe some of the more unusual or sort of quirky things that I've ordered that just kind of aren't your generic-y things. So first up, this cucumber called Diva. Not named after me, I swear, but could be. And then these little cute guys, look at that. White pumpkins. So they're little miniature baby pumpkins called Baby Boo. I've already prepared some pots out for them, so I'm going to sow those now. Sweetcorn, maybe not an unusual one, but I've never done it before, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm also going to sow that today. I'll have to stay in the tunnel though for probably up to the end of May before I can plant it out properly, just because I think sweetcorn can be a wee bit tender. This one here is quite an unusual one. So it's a yellow tomato. It's called Lemoncito. Quite an expensive tomato. This called Lemoncito. Quite an expensive tomato. This was £4, which doesn't sound a lot. There's only 5 seeds in it, so that's literally a pound of seed. Better be worth it. And also, like, as you know, I'm not big into fruit and veg, but this is the year I'm going to push myself to grow more fruit and veg. I'm going to take you on that journey with me because it's a big experiment for me, but also I suppose the world we live in now, it's always good knowing where your food comes from, obviously, but I think sustainability moving forward, you know, growing your own will be a big thing in the future. So I'm just really pushing that. Another pumpkin called Zombie. Now I've grown pumpkins before and I've never had much success with them, but I've also never had the luxury of having a tunnel before. So as you just know, this is my first year with a tunnel, so I'm hoping this will really push more unusual things like these cucumbers, like these pumpkins, because I've never had that luxury before of a tunnel. So it's that additional heat at the end of a summer that just sort of pushes them through and sort of, you know, gets them ready. But pumpkins are also very hungry plants, so they do require a lot of feed. So it will be interesting trying to work out a balance, how to keep them watered and fed and happy. Next thing is these yellow lupins. Now, yellow lupins by all means are not an unusual plant, but I've always been told you can never grow lupins straight from the parent colour. I don't know how true that is or not, but it's always been sort of suggested that pumpkins, lupins never come true from the parent colour. So, for example, this is supposed to be yellow seeds from a yellow lupin, but they could also germinate purple, because purples and blues and pinks and lupins are the most generic colours. Your reds, oranges, yellows, those are the harder colours. Whites, those are harder to grow. So I've been growing lupins now for years, and my top tip with them would be is get a glass of water, tip them all in, and that's quite good. A lot of them are at the bottom, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's about 8 there on the top. You don't want any floaters. So as rude as that sounds, but seeds that float to the top aren't fertile. So already I know there's 8 seeds that aren't worth planting. So you want them all at the bottom of the glass. So it's just a good wee tip if you are sowing lupins. Lupins are the sort of plant you either need to grow in a root runner tray or a pot. I wouldn't grow them in a seed cell tray just because they have deep enough roots. They're legume plants. They don't like being moved about too much. Next up is this Musa. Quite exotic for me. Don't know how it's going to do here, if I can even germinate it successfully. Their big large leaves don't really like the wind, and obviously I'm quite exposed, so I'm going to have to find locations for them. There is, let me see, there's 10 seeds in there. So going by the instructions for these, and if anybody has grown Musa before, please leave me some comments or tips that you have. It says leave them in cooled boiled water and then change that cooled boiled water for 3 nights in a row. So keep changing the water every so often, and then after sort of, I suppose, on the 4th day, sow them, and then sow them into a moist compost, obviously in a humid environment. So these will not be sown in the tunnel here. I'll be taking these back into the greenhouse. They will be under a propagator with a perspex dome over the top of them, just to keep it nice and humid. So that's what I'm doing with those, but I am excited if I am successful in growing them. This one I have grown before as well. Some of you will know this. It's the Rickness. It's a beautiful seed. It's a really large seed. You'll not see it there through the packaging, but it's like marbled. It literally nearly looks like a brown marble with kind of white veins through it. It's the most beautiful seed you'll ever see, but it is poisonous, so you do need to wear gloves for that. Just be really cautious when handling it. Obviously you're not going to consume it, but it can be irritant to some skin types, so yeah, it even says there, warning, poisonous seeds, so just be cautious when handling those. I also have this Bergmansia, again something I've never grown before. Don't think it's really going to do here. I'll be honest, it is just kind of a bit of a whim. And sorry, what I should have said is the Rickness and the Bergmansia I'll be putting in cooled boiled water this evening, leaving on the windowsill, and I'll be sowing them tomorrow morning. I'm not sowing them right now. But again, same rule applies with the lupins. If any seeds float at all, when you have large seeds like that, it's really easy. If they float at all to the surface, they're infertile, so don't even waste your time trying to grow them. Again, this is a bit of a whim, and I don't know if I'll be successful with this. If anybody has tips, help me out. It is an agave. I went to Marrakesh in 2014. Really cool landscapes out there, really cool. It's a completely different environment at all. It's a bit similar actually to the Canary Islands, but yeah, agaves just grow, well, I suppose like a lot of Spain, they just grow all over the place, but they do look more natural, I think, in that North African kind of climate when you see sort of big stretches of sort of deserty type environment. So completely unnatural to my style of gardening, but apparently they can be very slow to germinate, so I'm not expecting to see anything this year. I'm not even expecting to be successful. It's just something I want to try out for myself, but that will be done in a sandy, gritty compost, obviously to match kind of the grounds that they come from. Another pumpkin. I know, I got a wee bit carried away. A squash. Never grown squash before. Agapanthus won't be an unusual one for many people, but I suppose it's the growing of Agapanthus. I'm going to link it in with some of these more tender things. I can sow it okay, but I need to keep it like quite humid. Agapanthus, I suppose, do better from division. I'm not sure what they're like from seed, but I'm going to give it a go. So this one here then next is Angelica. Angelica is notoriously a difficult plant to grow from seed. I currently have these seeds in my own fridge, so I need to get those out of there. I'm again not expecting to be successful with this. I have tried Angelica a couple of times in the past and I've not been successful, and I feel I'm tempting fate even right now because I probably should have done it back in February, but I hadn't purchased it then, so that was that. And then this cool little guy is a squash, but it kind of looks like a wee pumpkin as well. I like all the sort of bumps and indentations on it. And again, this will be another plant that I'll start off in the greenhouse, but I'll bring out here to the tunnel. As you can see now, the sun's just come out and flipped me. It's blinding me, something shocking. And then lastly, Gypsophila. Gypsophila is probably more recognised in the bedding plant world. It's probably more recognised and people will know it for container planting. I want to tempt planting it straight into the garden. I kind of want to have like sort of a frothiness within borders. I'm not very good at growing Trillictrum here in my garden. I think it's just where I'm trying to grow it, maybe it's too sunny for it, and I don't know if the soil has enough moisture retention. So I'm trying to use Gypsophila as an alternative to Trillictrum. Obviously this one comes in white, I couldn't source pink, but I think white will be okay. I think it'll be kind of like a nice fuzz. It claims, let me see, yeah, supposedly this can grow up to 5 foot, so that will be quite interesting to see. I wouldn't say it's my favourite plant. I don't know, I'm on a whim with this one. There'll be a few people I think screwing their nose up going, ooh, it's a bit of a granny plant, but trial and error, we will see. If I don't like it, it only lives once, I'll never have to grow it again. There's quite a lot of seeds in the packet as well, like 600 seeds, so we'll see what happens with that. And then just back to the containers then, for the pumpkins. So Baby Boo, what a name. Just gonna rip that off. Which you probably saw on Gardener's World last night. I think Monty was growing sort of cucurbit type plants. Pumpkins obviously fall into that category. Cucurbit is just a family name for a range of plants. So there's 15 seeds in the packet there, but you plant them, you don't, oh, I don't know if this will show or not, you don't lie them flat, but you tilt them sideways. So that's what I'm doing with these. So tilt, tilt, and tilt. It's actually harder than you'd think to do them like that. It's so much easier just to lay them flat, but to try and sort of keep them upright like that. But yeah, there's moisture in the bottom of that tray there, that'll come up, and I'll just cover them with a wee bit more compost once I see that the top has got nice and moist there. And yeah, those will also be started off back in the greenhouse. But yeah, pumpkins is the thing I've been trying to do for years. I've never been successful at it, and I suppose I'm not letting it go now that I have a space where I can grow them sort of indoors, even though in the summer months the two doors will be open. It's just an added luxury I've not had before. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing over Easter. Hope you all have fun. If anybody has grown any of those plants I've shown and have any tips or pointers, leave me a comment. I'd be really interested, especially if somebody's grown the agaves before, because I would love to know more about them. I don't know if I'm going to be successful with them. I do have cacti compost, so I'm hoping I'm going to give that a go and see what happens. But yeah, have a good holiday everyone. So, back to the lupin seeds. So, there was 90 seeds in the pack, 8 were floaters. We don't want floaters, they were removed. That leaves 82, and then 82 divided by 2 is 41, and I have 40 pots. And at the moment, it is begrudging me to use my pots because I'm running so short because I'm just repotting all the time. So what I'm aiming for is 2 seeds per pot, and then if I choose to, I can thin them later. And hopefully I'll have other pots to repot those into, but if not, there's just going to have to be 2 per pot, and that's how it's going to be. But this was the other thing I wanted to show you. These are for sweet corns. So they're called root running pods. You can buy them like this. This is a brand new one. I have loads of these. I've collected them over the years, and this is what I term as good plastic, because you can reuse and reuse these all the time. This is a brand new one just because my others are filled with sunflowers. So you get your framework, which looks like that. You get a clear perspex lid. Now it is supposed to sit on top like this and act like a mini greenhouse, but you can, because it's sealed at the bottom, use it as I don't know, a water tray if you wish. It does tarnish the plastic over time, the clear part, so just be cautious if you do want to use it again in future, because you will dull it if you're using it for that. Now these wee bits here, these are the actual root running pod, can be easily enough broke if you don't handle them carefully enough. But you get it like that, that's it, fold it in half, and there's wee nibs then on the top. You just fold them up gently, like so, and then sort of connect the nibs together, so it's dead easy to do. Just at the start when they're brand new, they're a wee bit stiff. So it's like that, and then you slot it in your framework, like so, and build them the whole way across to the back, and then fill with compost. And then what I do is lift it out, tap, lift out, tap, and drop it a couple of times, just so the earth definitely falls to the bottom, so there's no air pockets, so it doesn't sink over time when you're watering. So it just keeps the compost nice and close there and flush to the top surface. and then I will sow the sweet corn into these, and then after 5 or 6 weeks what will happen is I'll just be able to open them up again, and the plant will have rooted. I can just slide them up and you've got your full plug. These are really handy for plants that don't like root disturbance. I have actually sown lupins in these as well in the past. Great for climbers. Sweet peas, actually, they're fantastic for sweet peas. So if you've never used them before, if you've never seen them, I'd really encourage you to get them. Very cost effective. I think I picked up three of them for like £12 or something. So like they're £4 each, which is quite inexpensive because you'll have them for years. If you look after them well enough, they'll do you for years. So just wanted to show you that.